All Meryton seemed striving to blacken the man who but 3 months before had been almost an angel of light. Everybody declared that he was the wickedest young man in the world, and everybody began to find out that they had always distrusted the appearance of his goodness. Mrs. Gardner went away to London. Mr. Bennet came from London. The situation remained unclear.
For Mr. Collins, I feel myself called upon by your relationship and my situation in life to condole you on the grievous affliction you are now suffering under, of which we were yesterday informed by a letter from Hertfordshire. Let me advise you then, my dear sir, to console yourself as much as possible, to throw off your unworthy child from your affection, love forever, and leave her to reap the fruits of her own heinous offense.
Father!
Dodged a grave curveball there. The death of their daughter would have been a blessing in comparison to this. I am inclined to think that her own disposition must be naturally bad. Oh, you know, Lady Catherine condescended to say to me, if you please, sir, that...
Kitty, go to Brighton? I would not trust her so near it as Eastbourne for £50. I have at last learned to be cautious, and she will face the effects of it. No officer is ever to enter my house again, nor to even pass over the village. Balls will be prohibited, and it's all my fault.
Jane and Elizabeth, what do you think will happen going forward? Any last things to say?
Well, I suppose it will turn out all right.
Jane.
And so I said to Lady Catherine, oh no, I cannot invite you to my humble abode. After that, I was speaking with my dear Charlotte about the kind condescension of a lady.
Okay, Bon, we're done here.
What?
Jane, has anything been heard of the fugitives? And my mother, how is she? How are you all?
My mother is tolerably well, I trust, though her spirits are greatly shaken. She does not yet leave her dressing room.
You have to wail in the background.
Jane and Elizabeth, what do you think will happen going forward? Any last things to say?
Well, I suppose it will turn out all right.
Oh, sorry.
Dearest Lizzie, I hardly know what I would write, but I have news for you, and it cannot be delayed. I have gone off to Scotland with Wickham. We are not married, but I'm sure we are a perfect match for each other, so it'll be perfect regardless. He doesn't think I'm an ignorant airhead that only acts out for attention. He does not mind that I bought a bonnet instead of feeding my sisters. In fact, we have the same relationship with money, and that we have none. All right.
Didn't you used to like him?
Come on!
Oh, Mama, do the people hereabouts know I'm married today? I was afraid that they might not. And we overtook William Golding in the curricle, so I was determined he should know it. And so I let down the slide glass next to him and took off my glove and let my hand just rest upon the frame so that he might see the ring, and then I bowed and I smiled and everything, and then I... Oh, Jane, I take your place now. I'm the married woman.
That's self-entitled.
Farewell, Lydia.
How are you doing, Mr. Bennett?
I often think there's nothing so bad as parting with one's friends. One seems so forlorn without them. I'm so distraught that my fairest daughter is leaving us to go so far away. It's very hard to have her taken such away from me. How will our family cope? I don't know if I can stand another second with her away from me.
I don't know if I can stand another second with her. Have fun in Newcastle with your Twitter White Boy of the Month.
So I hear that Mr. Bingley is coming down to Netherfield. Well, so much the better. Not that I care about it, though. He's nothing to us, you know, and I am sure I never want to see him again.
I hope he's doing well and that he's moved on.
As soon as ever Mr. Bingley comes, my dear, you will wait on him, of course.
No. You forced me into visiting him last year. I will not be sent on a fool's errand again.
But it is absolutely necessary.
'Tis an etiquette I despise. If he wants our society, let him seek it. I will not spend my hours in running after my neighbors every time they go away and come back again. Listen, I don't want to leave my house. I just bought this brand new waterbed.
Mr. Bingley, how great it is to see you. Will you be dining with us soon? I make a mean minced meat pie.
I hate minced meat pie. Definitely calls for a heavy dose of Pepto-Bismol. I must confess myself engaged elsewhere. Just this once, however, because I would love to dine with my beloved Jane again. Unfortunately, I am committed to other engagements at this time. I would, however, adore to dine with both you and Jane, mostly Jane, soon, however. A nice Sunday roast would surely justify my returning to Longbourn.
Ugh, Bingley is so annoying. I mean, I love him, but can't he just propose already? Like, I get it, my mom's trying to get Bingley and I alone together so that he can finally pop the big question, as both Kitty as well as Elizabeth hath exiled themselves from tea this evening. I instantly gave a look at Elizabeth, which spoke to my distress at such premeditation and my entreaty that she would not give in to it. Alas, my mother's tactics prevailed, and Elizabeth was forced to leave the room, leaving the two of us alone at last.
Wow, your father is one tough cookie. His shooting skills are off the charts. Ah, my dear Jane, I have something exciting to share with you indeed.
Should I go?
Finally! Oh, how shall I bear so much happiness?
Disgusting. Absolutely pitiful. These Bennets who reside here at Longbourn have a very small part here, indeed. How unfortunate it is that I am gracing this family with my glorious presence at this subordinate, subpar estate. And for what? To speak upon Jane and Elizabeth Bennet's engagements to Bingley and Darcy? To assert the facet of trickery by which Darcy has been subjected to via Miss Elizabeth? My character has ever been celebrated for its sincerity and frankness, and in a cause of such moment as this, I will not depart from it. I feel as though my power exempts me from common decency, and I cannot believe that Elizabeth would choose someone as descended on the maternal side from the same noble line, and on the father's from respectable, honorable and ancient, though untitled families, to my daughter as Mr. Darcy. Despicable. I cannot contain my excitement, dear Lizzie. What did Lady Catherine want, pray tell me? It must have been to give us an update of the Collinses. I hope they are well. Well, I would never say this to Lizzie's face, but I hope tremendously Lady Catherine was not here to judge. I am one for looking pristine, especially for guests, but I could not prepare my home for her ladyship. All I could do was remind her where Charlotte had come from. It is nothing in comparison of Rosings, my lady, I dare say, but I assure you it is much larger than Sir William Lucas's. Her nerve! I am so proud of my home, and she condescendingly put it down. Her pride, and Elizabeth not even inviting her for tea? I do not believe for a moment she did not choose it. This is England, no one refuses tea. There's no way. Lizzie refused to tell me so, but I believe that she is keeping something from me. Her nerve to not promise me no engagement to my nephew. Was she born yesterday? Everybody knows the hierarchical orders of matters. I cannot believe she said such despicable things to me in such a wretched small garden. However, after being so brave to say those things, she cannot possibly be proud enough to truly engage to my nephew. Not to fear, I shall now know how to act. Do not believe that her ambition will ever be gratified. I will speak to Mr. Darcy at once to ensure the safety of his engagement with my daughter. He admires me far too much to disappoint me in such a manner as did Elizabeth. I believe I have done enough to ensure my job is done, despite the setbacks of the rude and selfish Bennet girl. I take no leave of you, Miss Bennet. I send no compliments to your mother. I went there.
Hey, her carriage was so beautiful and elegant. Wherever does she go but simply to hear?
They were all well. It was all well. I cannot speak to you all at present. Please allow me to be alone.
Lizzie, I need to speak with you for a moment. Come here. Why have I received a letter from Mr. Collins warning me, not congratulating me on your engagement? To Mr. Darcy, no less? How ridiculous, no? Oh, no. If Elizabeth comes and tells me she wants to marry Mr. Darcy? Oh, no. My favorite daughter, for I must throw in a good word for my little Lizzie. Engaged to the only man with money my wife does not want in the family? She cannot be taken by such a proud man. Pray, I hope she is telling the truth. At first I thought that she hated him far too much, and that Mr. Collins was absurd. After all, could he or the Lucases have pitched on any name within the circle of our acquaintance whose name would have given the lie more effectually to what they related? I was sure I was safe when I received this letter, but seeing Lizzie's reaction has discomforted me, as if I did not notice that she tried to join in my pleasantry, but could only force one more reluctant smile. I noticed, and I am on my highest guard.
Oh, surely, Father, he is simply absurd all of the time, isn't he? Why must he waste our time in this manner?
I cannot say, but I can say that his humble abode is doing quite well, and if you marry Mr. Darcy, Lady Catherine will never approve of such a match. But of course, this is not a concern that I should have, right?
Of course not, Father.